Are you deciding whether to change brokerages in 2023? Are you paying tens of thousands of dollars a year to your brokerage and wondering if there is a better solution out there? Were you aware that there are opportunities to earn residual income and create a retirement plan for yourself? Hi, Spencer Hsu here with eXp Realty. In this video, I'm going to cover the differences between two of the fastest growing brokerages in America today, Real and eXp. First and foremost, if I was starting all over, I would be considering these two companies, which you should pick depending on a few key factors. So for this video, I'm actually going to go through a lot of different notes about the differences about eXp and Real, along with some of the similarities. So a little bit about eXp. eXp is founded in 2009 in Washington State. The CEO was involved with a number of different internet startups in the 1990s through the early 2000s, and after the downturn of the real estate recession in 2008, he and his team developed the first cloud-based brokerage model that used a 3D avatar-based online office to do some collaboration. That is what we call Verbella, and you may have seen different videos of that. Now, fast forward to 14 years later, it is still considered one of the fastest growing brokerages in the world. Now they have 86,000 agents in 50 US states in 24 countries as of December of 2022. It is a publicly traded company. The ticker symbol is EXPI. As I saw recently, it's at $1.8 billion market cap. Revenue is at $1.24 billion in Q3 of 2022, which is up from last year. And they do have a net income of over $4 million. Now, how about Real? So Real was founded in 2014 and was really created in the wake of eXp's success. And you're gonna see a lot of similarities between Real's business model and what eXp has to offer. The headquarters is basically in Toronto and New York City. They are also a publicly traded company. They are operating in 44 US states and 2 Canadian provinces. In 2021, they moved from the Toronto Stock Exchange to the NASDAQ under the ticket symbol REAX. Right now, as of December 2022, they have grown to 8,000 agents. They have $211 million of market cap as of December 2022. Revenue is at $111 million in Q3, which is a big jump from last year. They do, however, have a net loss of $5.25 million. Now, let's talk about the differences of the tools. So generally, these are actually fairly similar. They have both using SkySlope, which is a good transaction management tool that gets broker compliance. From a CRM perspective, you have the ability to pay an additional $25 a month to get the Chime CRM. And then at eXp, you have KV Core. So KV Core is included with the monthly fees that are already in place. So let's talk about commission splits and fees. So you're going to see some similarities here. Both have a $149 sign up fee. Both have a concept of a cap. What is a cap? It means when the broker hits that dollar amount, that means there are no more fees that are being paid to the brokerage. Now, this is very important because, as you can imagine, the more money that you make, the better it is, because the more you get to keep, and it stops the bleeding, which is what a lot of the traditional brokerages continue to have. Now, the split structure is a little bit different. eXp has a split at 80-20, which is 80 to the agent, 20 to the brokerage, up until a $16,000 cap, while Real is actually less. They actually have an 85-15 split with a $12,000 cap. In terms of transaction fees, Real is a little bit cheaper versus eXp. Once the agent hits a cap, it's at $250 per transaction fee. Once the agent hits a cap for Real, it's at $225. They have a little bit less fees when it comes to risk management fees per transactions. eXp has it at about $40 per transaction, while Real has it at $0. Now, let's talk about the big thing, which is revenue sharing. Both have made it very beneficial for realtors because instead of paying these investors and these outside people, they are sharing the profits and sharing the revenue with all of the other agents. Now, the key about this is that Real has 5 tiers that can be expanded versus eXp has 7 tiers. At Real, their commissions for each of the individual tiers, though, is better and higher, and there is a higher max. On the other hand, eXp has 7 tiers. And so the way that I look at this is it really depends on how deep or how big you plan to grow your downline, or just naturally how large it may grow. If you don't feel feel like you're going to be doing much recruiting or attracting of agents, then Real may be a better option for those individuals. If you actually have a long game, you may actually naturally see that people may just eventually keep being added on those 6th and 7th tier without you even knowing it. Right now I have about 24 agents or so in my group, and I already have those that are getting close to the 5th tier, and it wasn't through me because others naturally just see the success of the brokerage and may elect to join. So that's something very important to be mindful of. Now, the key difference, even though eXp has more tiers, is the way that the revenue share works is very important. Real doesn't pay any revenue share from tiers 2 through 5 if the tier is not unlocked. How do you unlock these tiers? You have to have a certain amount of agents that are qualified to be able to unlock these different tiers. Now, versus eXp, they do pay regardless of whether the tier is unlocked. However, the tiers payments are smaller if the tier is not unlocked. So they give you a little bit, but the reality is you want to hit those goals to be able to unlock for either of them. Now, the next thing both companies have to offer is stock compensation. Both do award stock based off of production, based off of how many agents are brought into your organization, along with the ability to earn back stock when it comes to agents hitting what they call as cap. So for example, I hit cap and I'm an icon agent because we hit a milestone of doing over $500,000 in GCI. So we have different milestones to be able to get some of that money back in the form of stock compensation. Total, Real actually has a higher stock grants than eXp does have to offer. The difference though is the valuation of these companies. The reason why I shared with you the numbers to begin with is financially, eXp is a larger company. They have had more of a track record. They are more established in the market, hence why their market cap is much higher, and they are a profitable company. These are very important things to factor in when it comes to the value of the company and the value for them to be able to survive throughout the years. Next, teams, the team models. Both brokerages actually are very favorable when it comes to having other agents join their core team. At eXp, there's a cap at $8,000 for the individual agents under you. At Real, it is $6,000. Both brokerages will have a minimum split of 25% for the team leader for each transaction. Now, the big difference now is, okay, well, wow, Real is really giving a lot away, right? They have less splits, more stock compensation for agents. What are they giving up for this? Now, number one, to be fair, they are losing money, so they are still burning capital. So we may see over time some of these may change. But also number two, they have to be lacking in some places. In this case, they're lacking in support. Now, it's a combination of broker supports. So at eXp, every state has different team of brokers that are readily available to help agents, but also the support staff reviewing paperwork, doing compliance, any questions about how to use the eXp portal, training that is involved, right? So you can tell because Real has about 40 employees when it comes to training and support, while eXp has over 1,300 employees. They have 850 in the brokerage operations side of things. So these are very big differences. The other is the technology in place when it comes to community. At eXp, they are partnered with Verbella. Verbella is that 3D avatar world where people are engaging with one another in a virtual environment, similar to all the different things you hear about the metaverse. Versus at Real, it's a little bit more standard. They're just using Zoom to have conferences. That's very, very simple and easy to do. Most do that. Quite frankly, we use that all the time when it comes to having meetings with clients. That's a very easy setup to have. So you can weigh the difference between the two environments and support, but the question and the key is eXp has still a lot more people on the support side to be able to help you facilitate and manage your business. Next, I want to talk about the networking opportunities and quite frankly, the production. So eXp has two large events a year. eXpCon, which is an annual event. Usually it's in Las Vegas towards the end of the year. And then they also have the Shareholder Summit, which is usually in the Orlando region. This is usually at the, I believe, April timeframe. Real is newer. They started a newer conference, an annual conference. I believe it happens in the end of the year too. That's a national conference. Now, because eXp is more established and eXp has over 80,000 agents today, a lot of these large leaders throughout the entire country have very large groups and very large events that they hold separately. So for example, an individual much above me, his name is Brent Grove. He has lots of huge mega mastermind events in places like Dallas, in Cabo, all over. So they've been fantastic for anyone to be able to participate. You don't have to be as part of their downline, but you can take benefit of the training and the network that provides. Now, the other thing I want to bring up is the top producers. What's very important to understand is who are the rainmakers in these different brokerages, and is that where you want to be, right? If you were a rainmaker, which one would you join? Which one has the better opportunity? So to give you an idea of eXp's top producing team, Fast Real Estate, which is in the Bay Area, they have done $671 million in production in 2022. The Figueroa team, $669 million in production. The De Beer Home team, $611 million. This is in San Diego. The Franklin team, $609 million. These are just some examples of some of the biggest producers that we have at eXp, but also along in the entire country. Now let's talk about Real. Real has a group that I highly admire. They're called Hatch Realty. They're in North Dakota. They do $300 million in production. There's Platinum Group Real Estate Team. They do $228 million production. So as you can see, there's a very big gap between the biggest producers at eXp versus the biggest producers at Real. And quite frankly, the numbers will drop pretty quickly from there. So here are my general thoughts when it comes to how do you pick between Real and eXp. At the end of the day, both of the companies run a sponsorship model, which means the person in the group you join is extremely important. You hear about the pros and cons of the brokerage level of things, but the reality is whoever you join is going to be the biggest factor as to if you will be successful or not. So you might as well take advantage of the sponsorship side of things, because the benefit of this is that an individual like myself, if you join under my group, I'm financially aligned with you for you to do well, because we're all on the same team, both on the compensation, but also on the stock side of things, because the company does better. Now, a couple of things that I would think about if I were to consider both of these places. One, what is the track record of the company? Who is more likely to survive and thrive? eXp is at 10 times the size of Real. So on one end, Real can argue we have a great opportunity ahead of us. On the other end, eXp is time and proven, which is a very hard thing in this business. It's, are you the golden standard in this model? And eXp, quite frankly, at 10 times and being profitable is that way. Next, eXp does have a better revenue share model over a longer period of time. However, for Real, they have a better revenue share model when it comes to just getting started, or if you're not looking to really grow that attraction or recruiting side of the business. eXp is larger in the sense of number of agents, so there's a lot more referrals that take place, but also they're available internationally. So if you do business with a lot of other countries, this is a very big and unique value add that eXp has taken a lot of time to expand on. Real may one day try to do so. eXp, as you have seen it previously, has a much bigger support structure than Real does. You saw the large number of people at eXp versus those at Real. So this is very important when it comes to getting paperwork done, getting paid, compliance. Those add up very quickly, and those are going to be growth challenges that Real will face as they keep continuing to expand from their 8,000 to 5 digits numbers of agents. At the end of the day though, to be fair, these are the top 2 brokerages out there when it comes to agents earning more money, keeping more of their money, and also with their growth opportunities, because they're the 2 that are really taking advantage of this virtual brokerage model, which we have seen very evidently with this remote work environment. At the end of the day, the key is who is the individual agent in the group that inspires you to help you grow, that gives you a lot of great content. That is the person that you really want to consider to join, and both of them somewhat balance each other out over the course of time. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you are considering to make a move from your existing brokerage, contact me as our details are below, and I would love to go over a strategy call to share how we can help you grow your business but also save substantially on your income. See you in the next one. Bye now.